History wasn't just written on the battlefield. It was carved into the clouds with steel, speed, and fire. The skies of World War II weren't just a horizon, they were a graveyard for the weak and a throne for the most feared machines ever built. P-51 Mustang was more than just a plane. It was the savior of the Allied air campaign. In the early years of World War II, American bombers were being decimated over Germany because no fighter had the fuel range to protect them. Everything changed when the Mustang was fitted with the legendary British Merlin engine. Reaching a top speed of 703 kilometers per hour and armed with 6.50 caliber machine guns, it became a high-altitude predator. With over 15,000 units produced, its massive range allowed it to escort bombers all the way to Berlin and back, finally dismantling the Luftwaffe and securing victory in the skies of Europe. P-47 Thunderbolt. Nicknamed the Jug, the P-47 Thunderbolt was a flying fortress designed around a massive 2,000 horsepower radial engine. It was the largest and heaviest single-engine fighter of the war, built to absorb incredible amounts of damage and still bring its pilot home safely. With a top speed of 697 kilometers per hour and an unprecedented battery of 8.50 caliber machine guns, it was a brute force machine. Over 15,636 units were manufactured, serving as the muscle of the U.S. Army Air Forces. It was just as lethal in a dogfight as it was obliterating Nazi tank divisions on the ground. P-38 Lightning. Known to the Germans as the fork-tailed devil, the P-38 Lightning was a radical twin-engine powerhouse that dominated the Pacific. Boasting a top speed of 666 kilometers per hour, its unique twin-boom design allowed it to carry massive fuel loads for long-range missions. Around 10,037 units were produced, featuring a lethal advantage. All its weapons, a 20mm cannon and 4 machine guns, were concentrated in the nose. This allowed for surgical, laser-like accuracy at long distances. From intercepting high-ranking enemy commanders to dominating tropical jungles, the P-38 proved that innovation and twin-engine power could conquer any horizon. F4U Corsair. The F4U Corsair was a naval masterpiece, instantly recognizable by its iconic inverted gull wings. Powered by the most powerful engine of its time, this whistling death hit a top speed of 718 kilometers per hour. The bent wing design wasn't just for looks. It provided ground clearance for its massive 3-bladed propeller. With over 12,500 units produced, the Corsair became the legendary mount of the U.S. Marines. It was so rugged and fast that it dominated air-to-air combat and ground attack missions alike, remaining a frontline hero from the Pacific Islands all the way through the Korean War. F6F Hellcat. The F6F Hellcat was the undisputed ace-maker of the United States Navy. Specifically designed to outclass and destroy the Japanese Zero, this rugged fighter hit 629 kilometers per hour. Built by the Grumman Iron Works, it was famous for its heavy armor and wide-set landing gear, making it perfect for carrier operations. With over 12,000 units produced, it claimed over 5,000 aerial victories, the highest kill-to-loss ratio of any Allied aircraft at 19-1. The Hellcat was the iron backbone of American carrier power, turning the Pacific Ocean into an Allied stronghold. P-40 Warhawk. The P-40 Warhawk was the gritty workhorse that stood the line during the darkest early days of the war. While not the fastest at 580 kilometers per hour, its extreme toughness allowed it to survive punishment that would destroy other planes. Made world famous by the Flying Tigers in China with their iconic shark-mouth nose art, over 13,700 units fought on every global front. It was a reliable, heavily armed fighter that relied on high-speed diving tactics to overcome more agile enemies, proving that American grit and engineering could hold the line against any odds. F4F Wildcat. The F4F Wildcat was the stubby, indestructible defender of the early Pacific battles. Reaching a top speed of 512 kilometers per hour, it was often outmatched in speed by the enemy, but it made up for it with incredible durability. Around 7,800 units were manufactured, serving as a pilot's fortress with heavy cockpit armor and self-sealing fuel tanks. Through innovative tactics like the thatch weave, Wildcat pilots turned their underdog status into a winning formula, absorbing impossible damage and surviving the brutal air battles of Midway and Guadalcanal to return to their carriers. P-61 Black Widow. The P-61 Black Widow was America's first aircraft specifically designed to rule the night. A massive, twin-engine beast equipped with cutting-edge radar, it hunted enemy bombers in total darkness at 589 kilometers per hour. Though only 706 units were built, it was one of the most intimidating sights in the sky. Armed with 4 20mm cannons in its belly and a remote-controlled turret, it possessed devastating firepower. The Black Widow was a technological marvel, providing a deadly umbrella of protection for Allied troops while the rest of the world slept, marking the beginning of modern electronic warfare. P-39 Airacobra. The P-39 Airacobra was a daring experiment in aviation design. To fit a massive 37mm tank-killing cannon in the nose, engineers placed the engine in the center of the plane, behind the pilot. This unique layout gave it a distinct profile and a top speed of 605 kilometers per hour. Over 9,500 units were produced, with thousands sent to the Soviet Union. Soviet aces loved the Kabrushka for its devastating firepower and ruggedness at low altitudes, using it to shred German armor and supply lines on the Eastern Front. It was a true experimental warrior that found its greatest glory in the hands of the Red Army. P-80 Shooting Star. The P-80 Shooting Star represented the incredible leap into the jet age. Built in secret by Lockheed's Skunk Works in just 143 days, it traded the propeller for a revolutionary turbojet engine, hitting a blistering 965 kilometers per hour. While it arrived in the final months of 1945 and didn't see combat in World War II, its 1,700 units became the foundation of the modern U.S. Air Force. The Shooting Star was the bridge between the propeller-driven dogfights of the past and the supersonic battles of the future, proving that for American engineering, the sky was no longer the limit.